When a routine run of Washington quarters unexpectedly produced a handful of coins with a subtle but dramatic doubling on the obverse, only seasoned collectors and sharp-eyed enthusiasts realized they had stumbled upon something remarkable. What began as an ordinary 1988 Denver Mint release transformed into a modern-era treasure hunt, where just a glimpse of ghosted letters next to the date can turn pocket change into a headline-making rarity. That tiny die misalignment set off a wave of excitement, proving that even in an age of billions of strike pieces, a few anomalies still command top dollar. The Washington quarter design has roots stretching all the way back to 1932, when the Mint unveiled John Flanagan's dignified portrait of George Washington to mark the bicentennial of the first president's birth. For more than half a century, that portrait remained largely unchanged, a familiar face on small transactions from corner stores to laundromats. By 1988, the quarter had become America's most ubiquitous silver-free circulation coin, replaced by the copper-nickel-clad composition in 1965. Flanagan profile, flanked by the motto "In God We Trust" and the elegant, olive-leaf wreath reverse until 1999, embodied continuity even as production climbed into the hundreds of millions each year. In 1988 alone, collectors and pocket change diggers saw over 500 million quarters struck at Philadelphia, nearly 600 million at Denver, plus San Francisco proof sets numbering in the low millions. Each coin measures 24.3 millimeters across and weighs 5.67 grams, with a copper core sandwiched between two layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Under normal circumstances, these coins pass through cash drawers without a second glance and trade at face value or, in packaging, at nominal premiums. Yet somewhere in the Denver production line, one die received an extra strike, leaving a whisper-thin shadow of the date and legend that would elevate select specimens into the collector stratosphere. That variety, known colloquially as the 1988 D double die obverse, manifests as a faint duplicate image on the date and motto, most noticeable in the numerals 1, 9, and 8 of the date, as well as the central letters of "In God We Trust." Without magnification, the effect is almost imperceptible, just the merest hint of doubling along the edge of each character. Only a handful of specialists spotted the anomaly as early as the mid-1990s. Over time, rigorous die studies revealed that perhaps a dozen high-grade survivors remained, with single examples in the finest mint state tiers. Because of that razor-thin survival rate, values for the 1988 D double die obverse escalate rapidly once a coin passes basic uncirculated quality. In well-worn, circulated grades, collectors might pay a few dollars above face. As grades climb into about uncirculated territory, coins command prices in the teens. Once a specimen earns an MS-63 grade from a respected third-party service, it may trade around $100. Yet at MS-67 and above, market prices leap into the four-figure range, and if a coin exhibits bold cameo contrast or exceptional eye appeal, buyers have shown a willingness to break even into the mid-five figures. One pristine MS-68 holder recently sold privately for more than $10,000, a staggering sum for a coin barely 4 decades old. Collectors often share stories that capture how surprising the discovery could be. One seasoned numismatist recounts finding an unusually sharp-struck Denver quarter mixed in his circulation accumulation during a routine weekend hunt. The coin looked almost too crisp compared to its neighbors, so he set it aside in a paper fold. A year later, while reviewing recent error coin listings online, he remembered that odd quarter. Under a loop, he traced the doubled edges and realized he had one of the rarest modern quarters in existence. That single moment, turning an anonymous coin into a prized edition, highlights the thrill that keeps veteran collectors riffling through bags and rolls. Spotting a genuine double die requires a few simple steps. First, examine the date digits under at least 10 times magnification. Look for faint, offset shadows hugging the original numerals, most apparent on the back of the 9 and 8. Next, inspect the motto directly above Washington's portrait. Those thin letters will reveal a parallel line or slight ghost image. True examples display crisp doubling without the soft blur of post-mint damage. Finally, check for doubling on the denomination, $quarter, at the bottom rim. Although subtler, it confirms the same die misalignment affected multiple design elements. With practice, a collector can quickly rule out false positives and home in on genuine varieties. Condition plays a colossal role in determining what a 1988 DDDO commands. In grades below about uncirculated, value remains modest, perhaps $1 to $5 in good through extremely fine condition. Once a coin reaches $50 or higher, prices begin to climb into double digits. An MS-60 example might trade around $20, while MS-63 coins often change hands for $1 to $200. Beyond MS-65, the market enters rarefied air. MS-66 pieces can fetch $500 to $700, and MS-67 routinely eclipses $1,000. Each incremental grade point above that can double or triple the price, fueled by collectors' hunger for the highest quality survivors. Proof collector sets add another layer. Deep cameo proofs graded PR68 and above may reach $200 to $300, reflecting both scarcity and eye appeal. Beyond grades and eye appeal, a few other quirks add to this quarter's mystique. The 1988 D double die obverse stands as one of the few notable errors in post-1964 circulation coinage, an era often dismissed as lacking collectible intrigue. Its discovery prompted renewed interest in modern die varieties and spurred roll hunters to revisit coins previously passed by millions of Americans. A small number of declared mint packets containing these errors eventually surfaced, confirming that the mint itself retained examples. That official acknowledgement lent credibility to the variety and further fueled market demand. For anyone lucky enough to own one of these coins, preservation is key. Even slight surface friction can diminish the sharp doubling, so storing specimens in inert holders and handling them by the rim safeguards both detail and value. Many top-tier collectors opt for professional grading to authenticate the doubling and assign a grade that supports market value. Those certified examples routinely sell more smoothly than raw coins, as buyers trust the grading service's assessment. With the surge in online auction platforms, competition among bidders can push prices higher than ever before. As the 1988 quarter segment closes, it is clear that a subtle die hiccup unlocked an extraordinary saga. What began as unremarkable change evolved into one of the most sought-after modern-era coins, a testament to the thrill of discovery and the depth of the numismatic world. Keep that loop handy, because while the odds of finding a Denver double die in circulation may seem astronomically slim, the possibility alone inspires seasoned collectors and curious newcomers alike to keep searching roll after roll. With one chapter complete, the next story awaits in a coin struck not a decade later, yet destined to write its own remarkable history. Shifting gears from the Denver double die sensation, the 1997 Washington quarter delivers its own suite of surprises, proof that even a seemingly ordinary date can harbor extraordinary intrigue. Struck just before the state quarters program revolutionized modern collecting, this issue preserves John Flanagan classic presidential portrait on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, linking it to decades of small change history while quietly setting the stage for today's treasure hunts. The design that graces the 1997 quarter began life in 1932. Flanagan profile of George Washington debuted to commemorate the president's birth bicentennial, instantly capturing the public's imagination with its dignified simplicity. The reverse, featuring a sprawling eagle clutching arrows and olive branches, became a fixture of American coinage for more than 6 decades. By 1997, these images were so familiar that most people treated the quarter as mere pocket change, but a handful of minting quirks proved that routine production could still yield wonders. Production numbers on that year's business strikes reached staggering heights. Philadelphia saw about 595 million pieces, Denver nearly 600 million, and San Francisco released roughly 2 million standard proofs alongside 3/4 million silver proofs for collectors. Each coin shares the same 24.3 mm diameter and 5.67 g weight, built on a pure copper core clad in 75% copper and 25% nickel. Under normal circumstances, a 1997 quarter passes hand to hand without drawing a second glance, trading at or just above face value, yet minute deviations from the standard planchet or die create all the difference. The rarest anomaly of the entire year stems from a single Philadelphia strike that landed on an unexpected blank. Instead of the usual US-clad planchet, one quarter received a leftover Belgian 2 franc disc. That lone oddball tipped the scales at just 4.66 g, more than a gram lighter than its intended counterpart, and displays the same Flanagan portrait. When this piece surfaced at auction, it astonished collectors worldwide, a singular error that leaps from obscurity to legend, carrying a price tag in the 5-figure range whenever it changes hands. Its story highlights how one misfed blank can rewrite mint-era lore. Die cracks and repunched mint marks also play starring roles in the 1997 narrative. A small cohort of quarters exhibits thin raised lines where a die fissure allowed metal to flow differently, sometimes slicing through Washington's shoulder or cutting across the eagle's wing feathers. Those faint ridges often go unnoticed until examined under a loupe, yet in collectible condition they can fetch 30 to 50 times the normal value. Repunched mint marks, where a faint secondary P or D lurks beside the main stamp, offer further intrigue. Crisp examples sell for $100 to $200, depending on how clearly the doubled impression presents itself. Off-center strikes introduce dramatic visual appeal. When the blank shifts even slightly before striking, portions of the design wander toward the rim, leaving one side of the portrait truncated and the opposite side filled with blank planchet. A 5% off-center displacement might command $150 to $300, at 15% or more, auction prices can exceed $500. Collectors prize these bold misalignments not only for their rarity but also for their immediate aesthetic impact. Each coin tells a story of mechanical imperfection frozen in metal. Subtle double die obverse also exist in the 1997 series, although less pronounced than the famous 1988 variety. Here, a slight shift between hub strikes leaves ghost-like shadows around the date or motto, most visible on the numeral 9 and the letters TR of trust. Identifying these requires patience and magnification, but dedicated variety specialists eagerly pay a premium for certified examples. In grades above about uncirculated, even medium visibility double die specimens can command several $100s. Personal discoveries often underscore the allure. One collector recalls sorting through family change from a road trip, only to spot a quarter that seemed unusually crisp. A quick comparison with nearby pieces revealed a minute misalignment of the eagle's feathers. That raw find, once slabbed and authenticated, sold for over $200, far beyond its humble face value. Another hobbyist noticed a slight weight discrepancy while calibrating a scale, tracked down auction archives, and realized a unique planchet error was hiding in his binders. Market values for standard business strike 1997 quarters remain modest until error or finish steps in. In circulated grades, Philadelphia and Denver examples trade for roughly 30 cents to $1. Proofs, especially early satin finish specimens, sell for $2 to $5. Once a business strike earns an about uncirculated grade, prices often climb into the single digits. Mint state pieces command incremental premiums. MS-60 coins change hands for around $3, MS-63 for $10 to $20, and MS-65 for $20 to $50. From there, premium rarities and pristine surfaces drive prices into the hundreds and beyond. Errors amplify those values dramatically. A die-cracked MS-63 quarter might fetch 50 or more, while a well-defined repunched mint mark in MS-65 can sell for $200 without breaking a sweat. Off-center pieces and double die finds occupy similar tiers, depending on severity and eye appeal. Collectors chase the finest 1997P and 1997D survivors, with MS-67 examples rarely appearing and spurring bidding wars when they do. Even proof set details can influence value. Deep cameo contrasts and flawless fields on silver proofs push prices upward of $100. Preservation matters above all else. Handling by the rim, storing in inert holders, and minimizing exposure to contaminants safeguard the delicate features that distinguish error coins. Many enthusiasts submit their finds to PCGS or NGC, knowing that a certified grade and clear attribution help maintain, and often enhance, market value. Auction houses, online platforms, and dedicated error coin forums offer venues for sale, but pedigree and slab appearance frequently tip the scales in a tight contest. Beyond financial appeal, These 1,997 anomalies connect collectors to the minting process itself. Each die crack hints at the immense pressures involved in striking thousands of coins per hour. A misfed foreign planchet reveals the complex global supply chains of metal blanks. A misaligned hub shows how massively scaled operations still depend on machine tolerances and human oversight. Holding one of these coins fosters appreciation for both the precision and the unpredictability of modern minting. As the segment on 1997 closes, its examples remind seasoned collectors why rolling through pocket change remains an enduring pursuit. Whether chasing bold off-center strikes, faint double dies, or singular planchet curiosities, each quarter offers the potential to rewrite someone's collecting story. With the lance on 1997's hidden secrets accounted for, the concluding reflection awaits, tying together 2 decades of numismatic surprises and celebrating the thrill that comes when routine coinage reveals its rarest treasures.